Oh,
Boom.
hey,
Whoop,
what
there
it
it
is.
is.
Look
who it is.
who
Oh,
it is.
hey.
Look who it is.
Ladies.
Ladies.
How
Okay.
you doing this?
I just want everyone to know we did a test with our guest for today,
Ladies.
and that is what he said. He said, "All right, ladies." It was just like that.
That extra breath too.
It was so breathy. It was. I got the heebie-jeebies.
I can hear his creepy smile right after.
Ugh.
He sounds like an 80s executive that just talks to his receptionist any kind of way.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
like,
Patrick Bateman. Just
yeah,
wear
yeah.
something sexier.
Yeah.
Show the leg.
A little tap on the ass type.
Calls her by the wrong name.
Yeah.
On purpose.
I've
Calls
been-
her sweetheart.
Yeah. I've been working here for 13 years. Still amazing, Bridget.
It's Brenda.
It's not even a B name. Like it's
It's Susan.
yeah. It's Susie. How we doing in the chat? What are we smoking? What are we drinking? I'm gonna ask before KB has to, so she doesn't get angry.
I didn't get angry last week and I asked.
No?
No.
It was the week before. Tim's walking off the
Tim
set.
has quit the happy corner.
He said bye
He dipped
Now
out.
taking
He's not. He's,
applications
yeah, we.
for a new sound guy.
You must have a beard. You must date Adele.
Sorry, Adele. This is the way things are
Yeah,
now.
I don't know if you knew that, but as a thought in the audience, you can only date our sound person.
That's
so.
right. David Sidker had to do it for years.
Yeah,
So
him and Timmy
Yo.
were a cute couple.
they
though.
were a really cute couple. Kim, the gray and white black shirt looks. Yeah, that's like a baseball type. That's nice.
You could find.
It's called a raglan.
Okay, fuck off. You're fired.
That's our producer Sterling, who just had to actually us.
yeah, what
at
the fuck?
You should be lucky I smoke. That's
This
our.
is
That's
why.
that's our. You should be lucky I smoke is the actually people.
Right. Well, actually,
I'm just saying.
that T-shirt's
it's called
called.
raglan.
Get over
They-
yourself. Get off
then
your
they add
fucking
fat.
high horse right now.
I'm just saying. Well, actually, I'm just
Is that
saying.
how we're setting the fucking mood for today?
You just stepped into my wheelhouse, okay? So I'm gonna bring it up.
Specifically, Raglans.
It's my favorite style of shirt.
I don't give a fuck. Anyway, we got tea. Thank you for schooling us on clothing, Sterling. We got tea, drinking bourbon, and smoking on some grape gorilla. That not all of that sounds delicious. But hey, Tim, could you get back behind where you're supposed to be and make sure that fucking Sterling can't say anything anymore?
Yeah, seriously, he just actually.
He just actually.
That's
us
the
on
reason why
our
we
show.
smoke.
Right.
That's the reason why we smoke is because we get
motherfucker.
actually.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the reason you smoke is because you have an addiction to marijuana.
Listen, there was like a few options of shows to go to this weekend. You wanted to hit up some comedy. And one of them, there was like 3 main options. And one of them that was the closest. I was like, hell no, because the headliner of that show is the biggest, actually motherfucker I have ever met in my life.
I know the show.
Yeah, you know the show. You know the show.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's a hard pass. It probably would have been like the easiest one to get to and this, that, and the other, but no. Not that the one I chose was the best one either. I think I should have gone Laugh Factory.
Yo, the Laugh Factory had a great lineup
Yep.
this weekend.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
yo, shout out to Curtis. Shout out to Curtis at Laugh Factory. Wait, hold up. Let me go into my dick eating mode. Hey, shout out to Curtis at Laugh Factory and Tony at the Improv and Brian Norton over at Zanies and I don't know if Sharna is still over at. I don't know who's
I don't know
booking over
who's
at
where.
Comedy Bar. I can't remember,
I don't know who's doing what.
but yeah. Shout out, no, for real though. Shout out to in like all the comedy club owners who are trying to get back on their feet and shit right now. For real. And shout out to the comedians who are getting a safe space to
Yeah, it was
performing
definitely
everything.
the show I went to was definitely they were as safe as they could be. Masks and social distancing and
All that good stuff. So I'm glad to
A
I'm glad to
lineup.
see that. Yeah,
a lineup was there.
yeah.
A lineup happened.
Shout out to Erica Nicole Clark.
Shout out.
Very funny.
Fucking killed it last night. Fucking killed it. I need to smoke so much weed.
All right, perfect. This is what the pre-show is for. We let it all out. How did everybody in the chat? How was y'all week? My week was incredibly fucking long. But yeah, the actually motherfuckers, y'all definitely, that is the reason why I smoke. And we jokingly saying it about Sterling, just so people know.
We only half mean it about Sterling.
It's like 65.
Yeah, it's a little more than half.
Oh, I fully mean that. That's a raglan, though.
No, we
We know that you. I was trying to clean it up, but no. Okay, so yeah.
He
actually, motherfuckers. Yeah, and that's what they do. They can't stop themselves.
They can't stop.
They cannot stop themselves from actually.
Well, actually, that's
Listen,
not what that
I'm a
means.
reformed actually person.
I get on a actually every once in a while. If you are like dead wrong, sometimes it's like a comment that you write out on Facebook and then delete. Like sometimes I can bite my tongue, but if it is like really fucking outlandish, I can't. I have to fuck it.
Dude, on social media, I be like Drake. I send straight subliminals like, like, this is the dumbest motherfucker I've ever seen in my entire life. Let me smoke this blunt and make something funny out of it. For real. Hey, I've been there as the actually person, and let me tell you, you're annoying. Like like Amy was saying, pick and choose the moments you're gonna be the actually person.
Yeah.
Like make it worthwhile.
Important
Don't
shit.
actually pizza.
Don't actually like Mr. Potato Head. Well, no, I guess I mean, that one did annoy me
got
for a little bit.
But like, nah, for real. Like people.
I'll like say my piece about it and then like let's fucking. Stop talking
well, such and
about
such
it.
album came out. I think like in 2009. Well, actually, came out in December
Doesn't matter.
2008. Okay, bro.
Doesn't matter.
It didn't matter.
Listen, I also am satisfied with being right. Like I am. Those same people, and I don't mean to call my brother Craig out on this, but he is this person. He will also confirm. Like if he thinks he's right about something, he'll go look it up. And if he's not right about it,
He'll stay quiet.
he'll just like put his phone down, like walk away from the situation. Like he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't. What were you talking about?
Yeah.
He like passes out, seizes, comes back.
Yo,
What happened?
Yo, fam, I can't stand the motherfuckers that like are arguing with you about a point and then like later on they try to make it sound like your perspective was their perspective in conversation.
You're like,
And you're like, wait a minute, no,
Are you reading my points back to me?
Yeah, like, no, I was like, no, through this whole argument, you've switched sides. Is what happened. Like, you realize, like, oh shit, I'm wrong.
right.
I'm wrong.
So wrong.
Let me see which ways I can get back around to being right.
Mm-hmm. T says her week was long but prosperous. That's what a positive.
I know. I like the positivity.
I
right
love
there.
it. I love it. Duke, I've been looking forward to this day. Happy Pi Day, everybody.
Happy Pi Day.
Let me also-
3.14, and I think it's Albert Einstein's birthday.
Is it? I don't know that.
And I think, yeah, and then we sprang forward. We
Yes.
we lost a whole last
Time
hour.
change.
Yep.
Yes. It was 4:30 in the morning on accident. I was awake. And I was like, whoa, shit.
Fam, I had fell asleep at like midnight and then woke back up at like maybe 1:50. And I was like, oh, let me watch something to kind of just chill out for a second. And then I checked the clock and it was like 1:53 when I started what I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
And then I checked the clock again. It was like 3:03, and I'm like, "But this is a 20-minute show. Like,
What happened?
like, what happened?
What happened?
Like, we lost the whole last fucking hour right there. Like,
So I
fuck me
know
up.
everybody is excited for this episode because of our guest today. And let me just say that I did not book this day with him. He picked Pi Day. He picked it, unironically. I think. But so he's not. We're gonna call him during the episode. We're not gonna like involve him the whole episode. But we got segments. We are.
Ooh, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Listen, I did like a fucking 6th grade note card book report.
She really did.
It's so cute.
She sent me a PowerPoint and
I
shit.
did. I was like, this is what's gonna happen.
She was like, "Can you review this?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" Like,
Can you
I came in and took a quiz before I sat down.
Right. I'm fucking ready. This is the readiest I've ever been.
Before we get into that shit, there's something that's been on my mind.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with any of the shit.
Okay.
Okay. And this is to everybody, but primarily ladies. Like, I don't know. Like, did any of y'all grow like a winter coat?
like I didn't shave.
Yeah.
I didn't. No, I consistently.
You
shaved through the
consistently.
winter. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe there was a couple days I was a little fuzzy,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Fellas, do y'all not okay, I'm not.
Yeah, could you not in this demographic? If there's some
I was talking
fellas,
to the audience.
yeah, if there's some fellas in the
No,
Twitch, that
yeah,
wanna
I was
answer
talking
this
to
question.
the chat.
Whew.
Jeez.
No, I don't.
I
wanna-
was just curious, man. Like, do y'all keep the winter coat? You know what I'm saying, or do you?
Do you
you,
shed?
you know what I'm saying? Do you when do you get rid of the winter coat? Because I'm a person. I grow the winter coat. You know,
do.
because it get a little chilly. You want coochie catch cold.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You gotta do what you gotta do. So and then what? You shed the coat. You shed the coat after what? Springtime. You do some spring cleaning?
Do
a reset.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure
Yeah.
everything is groovy.
Groovy. Groovy smoothie, baby.
Groovy smoothie. And I was just curious. I was just curious about that. Like, I don't know why.
I think that. I don't know why. I've been wondering about our audience members' pubis region.
I was wondering if I was the only one who kept the winter coat.
I feel like kept it like after winter.
Like, well, I mean
you
it
get
is
to an
spring,
age,
right?
Listen,
It's spring, right?
I'm not a child,
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
so I have like a spring jacket. I wear a hoodie all year round.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that. I do think it's a little weird when you just
Bald?
bald. Like you just out
I'm
there
too
with no
old.
jacket, no
jacket, It's
no sweater, no
irresponsible.
coat.
It's
no,
the kids that are walking around in their shorts and flip flops when there's snow on the ground.
yeah,
It's irresponsible.
yeah. And I'm like, it's growing there for a reason, fam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying. I was just curious about that. Like,
I think we're at an age.
when is a
KB.
good time?
I think we're at an age. I think we're just old and we're like, I mean, I don't shame anybody for their pubic decisions. You know?
I've been
You
talking.
do what you want to do. I get it. This is
Right.
This is kind of our preference.
Yeah.
Spring jacket, maybe
Spring
a hoodie.
jacket, a hoodie.
Yeah. I don't want like a full like Adriana furs coat.
Got the alpaca and shit.
I don't want PETA coming after me. But like no, yeah, like a jacket's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm too old to not bring a jacket. You know, you
I
gotta
feel
be
you.
you gotta be prepared
Right.
and bring a jacket.
Right.
And I feel like if I got with a man who was like, ooh, then I'd be like, so you're used to just like bald? Like it just makes me feel weird.
But do dudes like
Be balding?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some dudes do be balding.
Really? Okay.
Clogging up the bathroom. I'm sorry. Tim was working on the computer and it took away our chat for a minute and I come back. First off, I like Duke says, is this episode sponsored by Orbit Gum?
Somebody should change Timmy Cam to sponsored by Orbit Gum.
Clogging up bathroom drains, pubic decisions. You know, you make your own pubic decisions. I do what's best for me, you know? Like I said, we live in the Midwest. You always have to be prepared, you know.
Yeah.
Jacket.
Nah. Yeah, I was
Okay,
just,
well, we were talking about do dudes shave it all off?
yeah.
Yeah, I think some dudes do shave it all off.
Really?
That also makes me feel weird.
Dude, I would be worried about a dude. Like, I'm going to suggest this specifically for dudes. Use Nair. Because I don't want you to nick the balls or something like that. Aren't they really
That
sensitive?
sounds so stressful. To shave, like a man to shave his junk, that sounds very stressful. That's like a different type of skin. And don't get it twisted. It is a little stressful shaving the girl, like just taking
Right.
off your coat.
Right.
Like it's a little bit stressful. But I mean, like the dick and the balls, that's
I like how Starling ain't actually shit throughout this
Where's your
whole...
well actually now?
I
Where's your-
could say something since, like, when I went and had
Oh yeah,
surgery.
he had a vasectomy.
Yeah, and so I had to shave everything before going there. And so my safety recommendation is you get clippers with just a very small, like, short guard.
Mm-hmm.
So then that way you don't nick.
Did
You get a little
did
protection.
the lady come back in and reshave your shit?
No.
No, she was like, "Wow, you did
Did a great job.
Great
I got
job.
thanked like 4 times for it because apparently not enough guys,
shave
do
their
it
shit
whenever
for
they
their
go in.
vasectomy."
even though they tell you to before you go.
Because they're like, "You'll do it." So you got thanked. That's nice. That's considerate.
Yeah,
And then they snipped his shit and gave him a T-shirt and sent him home.
pretty much.
Put some a bag of frozen peas on your fucking dick and call it a day.
Okay.
Well, my balls, but yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the
Yeah.
same area.
Tomato.
All right.
They need to manscape.
Manscaping is appreciated. Yeah, I'm
Is
not saying
yeah.
just like, but like you don't have to take it all off.
Right. But you don't need to be George of the Jungle either.
No. If I thought Sterling was gonna be like, get some clippers, and I'm like,
The dick out here looking like
Fuck it.
Snuffleupagus and
the
shit.
fuck? It's just a nose poking through. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Bro. Well, thank y'all for... that's been on my mind. No bullshit. Like
KB's had some things on her mind. Damn. Okay.
yeah. I was just...
It's pubes. It's your pubes.
yeah.
She's had your pubes on her mind.
Yeah. I had pubes on my
She
mind.
wants to know some decision. You listen. Yesterday was like the first time I went out in public, and I was like, I don't even know how to act. Like, I don't know how to talk to people anymore. I don't know. I did like... I'm not gonna lie. I was a little worried that I would have like this urge, like when I saw other people on stage, to then be on stage. Like, I need to be on stage. I did not feel that one bit.
Really?
Yeah, because now I'm like realizing that I really hope that I don't have friends that just sympathy laugh at my shit because nobody else is laughing.
I'm going to keep it real. I wouldn't work with you if you sucked.
Thank you.
That's always my
But
motto.
I'm like, oh my God. The fucking, if you got your friends at a comedy show, and mind you, I had friends on this show last night. The people we know, people who have been on this show, former Happy Corner guests were on that show. And like, I laughed when shit was funny, and I didn't when I didn't think shit was funny. Because I'm not going to fucking fake laugh for you. Like, these people know me enough to know my laugh and know when I'm fucking faking it. So I'm not going to do it, but I saw a lot of it last night, and I'm like, oh, my goodness.
Hey.
It's embarrassing.
You know what? Amy don't give no fucks because we know what show she went to. We know who was on Amy give no fucks. She like, yeah. Stop having your fake ass friends laugh at you. But no, you know what though? Real talk. Like, they're
It's a
actually
false sense of security.
It's a huge false sense of security. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that, like, you should have your homies. Like, I think it's cool when homies come out and support. But get you some real homies. Because I've had homies that's like, what the fuck was that set? I'm like, yeah, that wasn't hidden.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It was like-
Multiple times my brother, our oldest brother, has seen me only not do well. Only. Exclusively.
Maybe it's him.
It's not him. It was, he came to an open mic.
Oh, that's first.
Okay.
mistake.
That was one. And then the other one was that Jake the Snake show, which was
Well,
also a Magic Mike Joliet edition show. So it was a shit show, so to speak. But exclusively. So I'm like, this is my brother's impression of like how I am as a comedian. He's just like, wow, Amy's out here just not giving a fuck that she sucks this bad.
Have you ever had
Oh.
the opposite happen though, where like your family or friends you've been telling like, oh, you should come? Like, what happened? Hey, if you have a friend that is an artist, support them in the beginning, but support them when they get better too. Cause when I first started, my homie's like, yeah, we coming to your show, and I'm like, damn. And now I'm like, hey, I got a show. They're like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
damn, bro, like I'm way better. You haven't seen me in like 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, come out to the show.
I feel like in the beginning, the support is always there, which is cool. Like, Tim, both of you, do you remember Little Buddy that would come and bring his whole like work crew from the casino?
Oh, they were cool as shit.
They would have a good fucking time.
Yeah.
They wouldn't give that kid sympathy laughs.
No.
If he didn't do well, he didn't do well.
As a matter of fact, they started showing back up, and he
He stopped showing
yeah.
up. He stopped showing up. It was great.
But now, like, support your friends and what they try to do, but also keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, like, you keeping it honest will help them in the long run.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen some friends where I'm like, you really gassing up this. Be supportive of the dream, but critique the content.
Please.
Like, please do, because some of these little buddies out here.
Oh, KB. These buddies were like, hype. Oh, like cameras out, like giving this kid a fucking photo shoot. Like during this, I'm just like,
Dude, it's always them. Like, as a comedian, fam, I'm pretty quiet and reserved and chill before the show because I'm usually high.
I'm also trying to work my shit out.
Yeah, and like when I never fails. Usually the loudest motherfucker that's like, I'm a beast. They got their friends there. They got all the pictures. And then when you see them perform, you're like, well,
That was some hype.
that was a lot of hype. Usually the people who are pretty confident in what they can do are not going to be like that obnoxious about it.
The people that I feel did best on this show, I did not see before the show. Like maybe in passing, like, hey, what's up? But I did not see them being loud. Like, I knew when I walked up who was a comedian on the show. And I'm like, oof, I really hope I'm not that person. Like, you know, it's been a long time. It's been a whole ass year since I've performed. And I really hope that I'm not that fucking asshole. And I hope you guys would put me in check if I was.
If you was, I would be like, dude.
Well, usually I'm not that person because I'm fucking pacing and nervous. And every show, it doesn't matter what show it is. It's also going to depend on who's on the lineup with me. If it's like comedians that I look up to, I'm going to be nervous no matter what. So I'm not trying to draw any attention to myself because I'm trying not to piss my pants, to be honest with you. That's what I'm trying.
I'm doing a Sam Baroni show at the end of the month.
Nice.
And one of the things that that I don't like is when other comedians talk to you while you're right before the show. I'm like, damn, I shut my ass the fuck up before you went and you want to talk to me.
Right. Right.
What'd you think about my set? They were laughing, so awesome job.
Great, but let me focus on what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
That fucked up my whole set one time. A comedian did that to me. He hadn't even gone out. He was after me. But he had like pointed, I was doing my thing. Like, I don't bring notes on stage, you know? And he like pointed it out. Like he was like, oh, you got your shit in your head? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh man, I couldn't do that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well I can.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I don't know, I'd probably write it down. And then I started to like panic. I'm like, fuck, should I write it down? And I fucking did. Like all my bullet points, and it fucked me up. I had a shitty set.
Who was this?
I can't tell you.
Oh, you can't tell? Okay.
I'll tell you later, and you're not going to even believe me.
Just don't interfere with a artist's process before they go on stage.
Yeah, and you would think, you're going to be surprised. You would think that a comedian at this juncture of their comedy progression would know better than to do that.
Yeah.
I am fucking ready to get this shit started.
Well, it's about that time, y'all.
We're calling this dude soon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's officially get this party started.
Yeah.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Wait, do that count over, bro.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
yo, do that.
that was
I was
It was an
an accident. I
practice.
didn't want to fuck it up because I know the producer. You know, he gonna hit me.
Well,
Well, actually,
Wow.
all right.
Okay. Restart. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nice.
It's time to laugh, 'cause boredom is just torture.
it's gonna be a good one, y'all.
KB and Aimee have just what the doctor ordered.
About eclipse
Pull up a chair, it's a happy corner.
Hey, what is
Around
up,
this
everybody? We spinning right round, baby, right round. Today,
Sponsored by Orbit Gum.
sponsored by Orbit Gum. This is the Happy Corner podcast with Amy and KB and Timmy and
That was weird.
all right.
This is a happy
Take two.
corner podcast. Yeah,
Hey, this is the Happy Corner podcast. Everybody, what's good? It's KB and
Amy.
and we got our special guest off to the side, thought in the audience. As always, Adele over
Cuddling
there.
some animals.
Cuddling animals.
Snow Whiting over here.
We also have another thought in the audience. Our producer Sterling.
He
Hi,
just
Sterling.
He had to be here for this.
Hello.
He wanted to be here.
He wanted to be here.
And
for
he
this
didn't
one.
want to do a Timmy and Sterling cam, which, I will not take
Would have been cute.
personally.
That would have been cute.
Yeah, what the fuck? Get in there.
COVID.
Oh,
Oh, true.
put a mask on. Put a fucking mask on and get close.
But then they'd hide their beautiful beards.
That's true.
They should braid them together.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Mine's not long enough at the
Well,
moment.
fucking grow it out.
It's going.
Okay.
You could get a fake one. Tekashi 6ix9ine did.
That's just disrespectful.
Okay. Wow.
Well, actually, it's not that disrespectful. So
But yeah, y'all. So we turning up. We have a special guest. This particular week, we have
on Pi Day.
on Pi Day 3.14 32968894182396881119 22 388888999999.
That's it.
And so, dude, I remember I had like motherfuckers that were like super nerds in high school
Mm-hmm.
who like memorized
Who knew the shit?
Yeah, who knew the whole like pi number. I was like, bro, yeah, okay. I don't have
Like,
that
how
time.
many decimals do you know? And they would compete.
Yeah, and they would compete on the
Yeah.
shit.
I think there's like a whole Pi competing team.
Yeah. You mean the math team?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mathletes.
The mathletes.
The mathletes. I think that we chose nice colors for our lights today. Don't forget that you can use channel points to change a number of things on the podcast, like the name of the Timmy Cam. You can make us smoke weed. You can make us take a shot.
You make
You
us
can-
drink water.
You can change the color of our lights. You can do whatever you want to do. I think Tim just realized that maybe he didn't.
I agree. Shut up. Shut up. Just keep going with it.
So we are going to call our guest. He is a special guest.
Mm-hmm. This is David Weiss. He is a flat earther. And we did have a poll up. Make sure y'all are following and liking on Facebook so you can see our polls and posts and everything. And so we did have a poll up for a what was the poll?
The poll was is the Earth
Or
flat?
flat. And yeah,
Shocking results.
yeah, we had shocking results, you guys. I don't know.
Should we wait until
Yeah.
David?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Shocking results. You still have time to go fill out that survey. Go to our Facebook page, the Happy Corner Podcast, and go find the survey and answer. Maybe change these results. These results are crazy.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
It's insane.
Yeah. And so that's what we're doing with the podcast today. We're having David Weiss on and everything. And this shall be interesting. If y'all got questions, drop them in the chat as well.
Yes.
But we are doing our segments. We want y'all to know that we have some special segments. So it's not like it's just straight up.
This isn't all flat earthy.
Yeah, this is because I wouldn't be able to do
We
it.
did a test beforehand, and he totally called me out. He was like, on this, he sends out a survey, and on one of the questions, it was like, we think the Earth is, and you're supposed to answer like, a globe or flat.
Mhm.
And I was like, I put not relevant to this podcast.
Because it's not.
It's not. It's not.
But I like if
I think there's an O in sponsored, Tim. I think that E might be an O.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
And so so that's what we're doing today. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If Buddy is reckless, then I'm roasting him, and if he's respectful, then we'll have a fun, good conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm roasting him. No, I'm not gonna be a dick.
Duke says, if the Earth is flat, explain the Harlem Globetrotters.
Hey, I'm trying to figure out like if you wouldn't play flying like to different locations from different locations. My whole thing is like, wouldn't you go across the same topography? You could only go one way.
I mean,
Are they changing the topography as you fly so that you can?
yeah.
Like that doesn't.
Conspiracy.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was.
These are all questions we can get
I
answered.
just that shit just blew me. I was like, okay. That motherfucker looked at like a map and was like, "This is it." They got it with this.
Even though it's like a well-known thing that like maps are distorted
They're just yes,
because it's hard to put something on a globe
right,
on a flat surface.
exactly, right.
But never mind. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not
Yeah.
a fucking science.
It's not like we took 6th grade science.
Yeah, it's not like this hasn't been figured out for. Now let me just. How some people have been asking how this came about. How we got this guy. This guy came to us. Let me just tell you that. I think what he does is he goes on Instagram and he just finds like the podcast hashtags and he kind of comments on people's stuff. Like he wants on your podcast to talk about this. So he had commented on one of our pictures and said, I think it's 2021. It's time to talk about flat Earth. And I said, you're right, little buddy.
Like Copernicus didn't do it.
You're right, little buddy. Like
the Greeks.
it is
haven't been taught about-
2021. There is no reason why anybody should believe that the Earth is flat. And he said, contrary, big buddy, is what he said, which is how I knew he's never listened to this podcast. He wants to talk about it.
All right, cool.
So we said, you know what? You want to be on our podcast? This is our podcast. We're going to do our podcast the way we do.
The
our
way that we
podcast.
do it.
So I'm fucking. Are you guys?
No, are you ready? Don't ask them if they ready. Are you ready? Because I'm
not sure.
ready.
I'm not sure. I gotta pee like I'm about to perform. Like
You want to go pee?
no,
Okay.
just pee my pants. It's.
I could talk about pubes while you go. I can bring up that conversation. That was rousing.
Our chat is ready. Blaha, never more ready. Oh man, our chat's gonna be active today. You guys, I'm sorry. Like we've done our research. We've watched Dave's videos. He's a talkative dude. So if I can't read, I don't want to like cut him off all the time to read everybody's
Right.
comments. So if I'll try to get to everybody's comments as you're making them. But we're ready. Everybody's ready. They're ready. We're ready already. Let's call David Weiss.
Mr. Flat Earth.
Flat Earth Dave.
That's the one. My bad. Sorry.
Happy corner.
Hey,
Hey.
how's it going, Dave? Or David?
Going all right. Hold on, my camera on. There I am.
There
There
you
you
go.
are. There you are.
All right.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going okay. I was listening for a little bit, so we got a lot to talk about.
We do.
Hey, we're glad you've been listening.
And I appreciate when guests tune in and listen and shit.
Right,
so
right.
thank
I
you
do
for
too.
that.
I do too. Even you're a great sport. You don't even know what you're in for, and you
Well,
decided to do it
I
anyway.
know what I'm in for.
Oh, okay. You know what you're in for.
Nothing new. How about that? I'll just say
All
that.
right. Awesome.
Well, listen, it's kind of the name of the game when you do reach out to people to be on their podcasts to
Sure.
talk about, you
You
know.
know,
So I'm like, hey, it's our
I've
podcast.
been
We're
on
gonna.
all the big shows. I've been on InfoWars, Tinfoil Hat, Veritas Radio, Caravan to Midnight, Coast to Coast Radio, and I like reaching out to smaller shows
Uh-huh.
that are interesting. You guys are very interesting, and I'd like to introduce this topic because it's a life changer. It really is. And you guys earlier said, well, it doesn't matter. Well, when you understand what it is, it matters so much. It's unbelievable how we all missed it. And I was you. I actually refused to talk about flat Earth from the beginning. People
There's
started sending
something
me stuff.
I do want to ask, and before we like get into our actual show and do our stuff, is there like anything on this earth? Is there any research that anybody could present to you that would change your mind? Like, what do you need to
Sure.
see?
Curvature.
You need to see it with your own eyes. Is
I
what
need
you're
to
saying?
see proof of curvature. Sure.
Okay. So
Or
I'm
show
just,
me
I'm
how
just
you
want-
can have a vacuum next to high pressure without a barrier.
I see. Okay. Sorry, we're having
would you-
some. We're trying to get your video right on our
Okay.
on our chat. So
No
yeah, that
worries.
that was one of my big main questions, is because I feel as if we're having you on the podcast, which I don't think in a million years you're going to change my mind or my co-host's mind or our sound guy or our producer's minds. But
And I
Right.
get pretty high, Dave.
yeah,
I'm,
we both do.
Yeah, I
Listen.
got it. The thing is, belief is the enemy of knowing. You guys believe that the Earth is a spinning ball, like I used to. But once you realize what you believe as proof doesn't exist, and there's tons of proof of flat Earth, it makes you really wonder. Now, if you have the attitude you're never going to change my mind, well, then that's your choice. But I'll show you evidence today that the Earth is flat, and you won't be able to show me any evidence or yourself that the Earth is a spinning ball flying through an infinite vacuum.
Okay.
This is what you guys believe. And by the way, I'm not picking on you. It's okay that you're
I
a ball
will
earther. It's all
never
right.
think that you are picking on me, Dave.
Oh, Dave, the other question I have.
Go ahead.
Now, I'm a chill person. Do you smoke or
Yeah.
drink, Dave?
I do.
Really? What's your drink of choice?
I smoke a little bit of the lettuce,
The
Yeah.
devil's
Okay.
lettuce.
And,
nice, nice.
Is it legal where you're at?
I'm more of a fan of the gummies,
Ah, okay.
Fair.
Okay, fair.
the edibles, because I do so many interviews, I lose my voice, and
Yeah.
True
the
that.
edibles treat me nicer.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's not as harsh. And do you drink? You drink a little bit?
You know what I do? I used to drink a lot of tequila, but now, I'll drink when the opportunity strikes. It just hasn't been striking as much, but
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
do enjoy tequila, a good tequila, and occasional beer in the summer.
All right. I already like that. Tequila. Tequila's my
So-
favorite. What's
We
your
have some
tequila of choice?
tequila.
Yeah, good-
Yeah.
There's my tequila of choice is too expensive, but I go for Casamigos.
Ooh.
That's a decent one, and my favorite is what is it called? God, I'm spacing out the name. It's the 19. I just spaced out on my favorite name, tequila.
Oh,
You got me under pressure
man.
here. It'll come to me in a second, but Casamigos is kind of my go-to.
Gotcha. All right. Good.
We have some
good
tequila.
choice.
Have you ever been to
Don Julio.
Don
Julio,
19,
1800.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, all
I
right.
like Don
Gotcha.
Julio.
Don
I
Julio's
like
good.
it. I like it.
That's what I thought you were saying, but the 1900s.
Yeah,
Have you
thanks.
ever been to Chicago?
I have.
Have you
Chicago?
have you
Go ahead.
tasted Malort?
No.
Oh,
not.
nobody's mad at you enough to have made you have a Malort shot. Oh.
That's a good thing, I guess. It sounds like.
No, if you come to Chicago, I insist you do it. I insist.
All right,
That's
well,
what I drink on the
I've,
show. That's what I drink on the show.
I-
So
It made me drink something funny in Newfoundland that made me an honorary Newfoundlandian, and it was horrible, but I did it.
you've
I
been
don't remember
to.
what it was though.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. Did it do nice things to you? It wasn't like a
It
meme.
made me hallucinate pretty
Ooh,
much.
there you go. There you go. What a fun time.
Was that some absinthe?
No, it wasn't absinthe. It
wasn't
was
absinthe.
something worse than absinthe.
Ah, okay.
Worse than absinthe.
But it was, yeah, worse than absinthe. That's hard to imagine, right?
Right, a little bit. A little bit. What's your favorite color,
So-
Dave?
My favorite color, I would have to say it's blue.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty
Okay.
basic, boring, but I
Oh,
like
that's okay.
like Caribbean blue.
Can you see
There,
this?
there you go. You got
Yeah,
it right
looks good?
there. Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect.
That's
So
good,
so how we do our show, Dave, is that we is it David or Dave?
Either one.
Either
can
one,
Call
you don't
me,
give a shit?
You know, flat tart if you like.
Oh, we
Oh
would
no,
never. We would
no, that's
never.
not cool.
I like your fingernails are my color.
Oh, here you go. I did it just for you.
There you go. Thank you.
I was prepared.
But yeah, so how we do the show is that we actually roll a dice and that lands on a segment and that's where we go from there. So Amy, go ahead and give us the
Fun.
first roll.
We don't have that number. We've got this number though. This is a number 7. Off the bat, Tim, you have a graphic and a sound for this.
Yep.
So go ahead and roll it.
Then how do you explain eclipses, Dave?
Dave.
Can't hear it. This is a segment we've been doing a while, Dave.
Yeah, this is one that we do with every guest.
Every time.
And this is for us to check, our friends where they're at scientifically. So, this segment is
All right.
called.
See, you got it down to a science. too.
Yeah. How do you explain eclipses, Dave?
Segment we've been doing for years.
Years. It's one of our first segments ever.
So, a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse?
Let's do both. Dealer's
Okay.
choice.
So we're told that a lunar eclipse is the sun, is the Earth moving in between the sun and the moon, and the Earth's shadow is cast on the moon, right? That's what a lunar eclipse is. That's what they tell us. But there's a thing called the Seleninian, I don't pronounce that correctly, eclipse. And there's over 50 of them documented where you see the sun up in the sky over on one side, you see the moon up in the sky on the other side, both above the horizon, and the eclipse starts from the top down before either one goes down. So that scientifically eliminates the Earth as the cause of the eclipse. Because the Earth has to come in between the two to cause a shadow, and it's not in between the two. But if this was the sun, if this was the moon here, and this was the sun, and the Earth is coming up, it would the shadow would eclipse from the bottom up, but the shadow comes in from the top down when the Earth is down here. It cannot be the Earth causing the shadow.
All right. So here's
Eclipses are not shadows on the moon. It's something else.
And you don't? Do you know what that something else is? Is that what you just explained?
So that well, here's the thing. All cultures before us were flat Earth cultures. The only time heliocentrism was brought in was by NASA. All of our history with Copernicus, with Aristophanes, all of that is lies. People in the early 1900s, all across the Earth plane, knew the Earth was flat. I interviewed a woman named Ruth, 102 years old, in February of 2020, and I was interviewing her about the World's Fairs. What's that?
Where was she from?
She was from Connecticut, but I was interviewing her in Florida in an old age home, and she had an unbelievable
So this was
memory.
in
She was remembering her
Florida.
5th birthday.
Okay, that's important.
And I asked her,
It's important.
what did they teach her in elementary school about the Earth? And she said, but never mentioned flat Earth. She goes, they taught me the Earth was flat. Then we did some more research, and we found a woman in Croatia who said that all of Croatia was teaching flat Earth in the 1930s. So we started looking on microfilm and found old newspaper articles in the early 1900s that talk about teachers being persecuted for trying to teach heliocentrism in the school systems and threatened with jail. So this hijacking of our world happened less than 100 years ago.
Okay, I have family in Croatia that I can definitely talk to about
you
this.
got anybody that's over 100 years old?
I don't.
In Florida,
Not
that's a
in
big
Florida,
that's a big
not
piece
in
to that.
Florida in an old folks home.
because
Because
like
we know people in
like-
old folks' home are definitely of all of sound mind.
right. That's what I was about to say.
Well, she was remembering her 5th birthday party and knew the name of her school, the teacher, the road it was
Oh,
on, and
man.
kids in her class. That's why I asked her about it.
Yeah, there was also
The-
I worked with old people for a long time, and there's a lot of times where they're giving you some false memories, when they're not all.
or
You can say that, but then
or
you
the
find
fact that
newspaper
there's
articles
just-
that support those memories.
or if
And,
you or if it's just a time where the advancement of a textbook or education is not quite there, because as a former educator, sometimes that's part of it too. Is that sometimes
I got
you run into experiences where, and that's the reason why I think having a multitude of sources is a good thing, because sometimes, like you're alluding to with our perspective on it, is the same way, is that like sometimes the way that things were taught to us was taught wrong because they didn't have the technology, the advancement, or the money to have enough
Yeah, I got it.
information about it. You know what I'm saying?
I used to think the same thing. Think the same thing, but then I started doing the tests myself. I started, looking at the evidence, and when I was forced to look into flat Earth, I went in with the purpose of disproving it and proving the globe, and I came out the other side
So what
knowing
test
there's
did
no
you
proof
do?
of the globe. What's that?
What test did you do?
So one of the things that got me was, if the Earth is
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
the size they say it is, 24,901 miles around, there's a rate of curvature. At 100 miles, there should be a 6,600 foot wall of water in between you if you're looking over the water. But Navy ships can put a pencil thin laser beam on another ship, targeting it over 100 miles away, and there should be 6,000 feet plus of curvature in between them, but there isn't. You can see it. So we started doing tests with microwaves and mirror flashes and lasers over frozen lakes, super zoom cameras. I sat
Over
at the water's edge
frozen lakes
and know
where?
that what's that?
Frozen lakes where?
In where did they go? They went to Lake Balaton in some one of those northern countries. A whole team of people went there,
Okay.
and they were doing a laser test. They did it. I forget the number of miles, but the curvature was ridiculous, and so I saw video after video after video of these impossible distances. So I bought a super zoom camera. And I went to the beach and I said, okay, I know that buoy's 11 miles away. There should be over 60 feet of curvature. And I sat at the water's edge and I zoomed in on it, and there it is.
Can I
So there's no curvature.
I want to rewind for a second. We can get back to this. You
Sure.
said that you were forced to learn about the flat Earth. Like, who forced you to learn about the flat Earth?
I was doing a conspiracy podcast, and we were looking into all sorts of deceptions in the world. And then people started sending me, hey, Dave, have you looked into flat Earth? Check this video out. And like any intelligent person, I would delete that email. And if they kept sending it or posting on our social media, I would block them from our social media for being so stupid. They're too stupid to listen to my comedy podcast, Comedy Truth Podcast. And then another researcher that I trust very much said, Dave, I think the Earth might be flat. And I was like, are you friggin' kidding me? And she sent me some videos, and I started looking into them. I'm like, that's interesting, but I'm going to just disprove this. And for 2 weeks, I didn't sleep, and I was trying to disprove it. And I came out the other side. I'm like, I didn't want to say the Earth was flat, but I knew it wasn't a spinning ball flying through space after looking at the evidence. And then the more research I did, I've been doing this for over 6 years. I'm offering a Bitcoin for anybody that can come up with one proof of the globe, just one. I heard you talking about people going, how do they travel, circumnavigate the flat Earth? I can explain that if you like.
Go for it.
Well, I actually have a question real
It's our
quick.
producer, Sterling.
Shoot.
So when
Hello,
you were,
producer Stanley.
Sterling.
Sterling.
so
Sterling.
when you were saying that it should have been what 60
66 feet at 10 miles from 0 inches off the water. I was sitting, so I was 2
that's
feet
not
off
the right
water.
number,
so
though.
you have to subtract a little bit from that. What's that?
That's not the right number.
Well, what is your? Well, I'm using their
Well,
math. Their
actually-
curvature calculator.
Well, no,
this is where we're at.
7.9
We'll
inch.
actually
Every
come.
mile is 7.9 inches of curvature.
No,
10
no,
miles
that's
would
not
be-
true, because that would be a slope.
No,
Think about it. If every
It's-
mile was
it's-
7.9 inches of curvature, if this is the ball, you're going over the ball. It gets steeper and steeper as you go. You have to square the miles.
It's 8 inches squared, actually, if you want to go that
Eight
route.
inches. No, it's 8 inches per mile squared. You can look it
Yes.
up. I've done the research.
But at 10 miles,
it's 8 inches per
10
mile
miles would
squared.
be 80 inches.
Man, I failed the math section of
That's
the
incorrect.
ACT.
But even if
fam.
it was 80 inches, I could still see it. And
Please
so
roll the
that's wrong.
dice.
Okay.
8 inches per mile is a
They
ramp,
mathing and
not
shit.
a curve.
Hey,
You have to
fam.
curve the. You have to curve the. You have to square the miles. Do you want to hear about circumnavigation?
No, we want to do a segment.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Now you've watched our stuff, so like our segments are gonna go all over the place. So we're gonna talk about some of your
Whatever you
stuff.
like,
We're gonna
it's
talk
your
about
show.
some of ours. Right. All right. So we just rolled a 1, which is a new segment that we have called First Date, Last Date.
Fam, I just see numbers inside my brain right now. Like I see like a
You're that
division
fucking meme.
sign. I see like a squared. I see.
Our chat is living for the fact that you called our producer Stanley. They're loving it.
That's what I heard. Sorry about that.
That's
I'm
okay,
gonna
that's
stick
okay.
with Stanley.
Stanley. It's you have not gotten Stanley before.
You know that meme of
He
that
gets
lady
Spencer. Yes. With the math, and she's like, yeah. No, I feel that. I feel it in my soul. That's why I rolled this die.
Yeah, it said the square root of 144 is 12.
Okay, so this segment is First Date, Last Date. Dave, I don't know your situation. I don't know if you're a married man or what. I imagine you've been on dates in your life.
Yeah, I have.
Has there ever been a time you've been on a date, a first date, and you knew that it was definitely a last date? What were some like red flags? That was a hooey sigh. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I was married for 17, 18 years, and then I got separated. I got divorced, and literally the first party I went to, I met the person I've been with for 14 years now.
Wow, you got lucky.
Yeah. You like being in relationships, Dave.
Your relationship, Dave, right?
But, you know what? I actually no. And she was fresh out of a divorce too, and we're like, this is crazy. We have to date other people, and it just never happened.
Okay.
So that was my
What
first date and last date because I
What
stayed
a
with her.
blessing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Is she flat earther?
Absolutely, she's awake and aware of the world that we live in.
That was smooth, Dave.
That was very smooth. Dave, I kind of like you, Dave. What the fuck? What the fuck
I know that
is
you
going
didn't
on?
want to like me. I saw that
No,
coming,
man.
but you have to like me because
I don't have to. Trust me. We
you-
still
you-
got a
well,
lot of
we'll
podcasts
work
to
on
go.
it. We'll work on it. I have plenty of opportunity to blow it between now and the
Oh,
end.
absolutely. Absolutely.
If you're self-aware enough to know that, I appreciate that.
Right. Correct. Correct. So, KB, you want to roll?
Yeah, I'm rolling. What's the last book you read while I'm rolling?
The last book I read was Healing with DMSO. I think that's the exact name of the book. It's right there. It's Healing with DMSO by Amanda Vollmer. Amazing, amazing book on health.
What's the book about?
It's about I'll say it's a medicine, but it's a substance called DMSO. It's made from when you process wood from trees, I believe, and it's a healing agent. It's a way to bring medicine into your body and heal your body from everything from cancer to knee pain.
The chat wants to know how flat the book is.
It's flat. It's flat as the earth. It's as flat as the earth.
All right.
Oh, shit.
Well, I rolled a 3, which is like my lucky number.
Yeah, I
You
love
know,
threes.
383. Nice round number.
Love it.
As the world turns is our segment. What types of things have you been doing during the pandemic to keep sane?
Well, I've been doing over 20 interviews a week. I've been going out on the water a lot in the summer. And looking forward to that coming up. I live on the Northeast here, so it's warming up quick. Been doing some kite surfing. And
Kite
I've
surfing.
been hanging out with like-minded people. We had a meetup. I flat Earth meetup just a week ago or 2 weeks ago Sunday, and I figured 10 or 20 people would come. 150 people showed up.
Wow, good for you. Now, let me ask
And
you,
then
David.
Go
Did
ahead.
you guys wear masks or no?
Not a single one of us wore a
Of
mask.
course you didn't. Why did I know the answer to this?
Of course not.
Was
I mean,
it
we're
out- was
awake
it
and
an
aware to the world
outside-
around us.
Was it an outside event?
No way. It was inside.
Oh,
Lots of hugging
oh.
and everything.
So
Smooches.
Super spreader event, we call
I
it.
love it. That's responsible.
And we have another one coming up in South Carolina on the 26th and 27th.
I'll let family
Huge
know.
festival.
I'll let family know.
yeah, I got
Okay.
family in South Carolina.
Yeah, same.
It's in Greensboro, South Carolina. FlatEarthFestivals.com.
Is it free?
It's the first day is free. The second day you have to pay, but the first day is in a park from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Barbecuing, games, music. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh, you know what? My black family will show up and not give one fucks at y'all flat earthers. It's
They
about
just
the
wanna party,
barbecue.
right.
Yeah, it's about to
Just
turn
don't
up.
listen. Don't send them if you don't want them becoming flat earthers, because they will not leave there believing in the
people-
globe
do
anymore. They
people-
will know the Earth is flat.
Do
How many
people
black
show
flat
up?
earthers you got? How many?
There's 11 million in Brazil alone.
11 million flat earthers in Brazil.
Alone, yes.
Because I asked them how many black ones. Now, I gotta learn Portuguese to know if what they saying.
Right.
How the fuck am I?
Do we
There's-
know
there's
anybody?
flat
We
earthers
gotta know somebody.
Everywhere, and once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Is your favorite
It's just-
basketball player Kyrie Irving?
No, I was not too thrilled with the way he's behaving. You know, he knows the Earth is flat, and then he got, his sponsors and managers said, if you don't back off what you're saying, you're going to lose all your sponsors, and he backed off like a cuck.
Like a cock. Dave, your mouth is filthy. We don't kink shame on this podcast. If he's a cuck, that's his business.
He's a cuck.
Good for him. I'm happy for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. Good on you, you cuck. I don't know how I'm supposed to handle that. Well, KB, what have you been doing during the pandemic?
I've been writing.
Yeah. Are you stage ready?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You think it's like riding a bike?
Hell yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready to bang the shit out of 2021.
I think this summer is going to be good.
Like for real, my new material and my freestyle, I'm about to set some shit on fire.
Y'all ain't ready
Straight
for
up.
KB.
Straight up. You gotta talk that shit sometimes, Dave,
I
you know?
Yeah. I think Dave knows. Dave knows. You've made a lot of appearances on a lot of
Yeah.
different shows and podcasts and whatnot. Were you in that Flat Earth movie? That documentary on Netflix?
That Flat Earth Deception movie on Netflix, yeah, I was in there just a little bit. But that movie was very deceptive. It was edited to make it, it basically misrepresented everything that happened.
Oh, like the end when they accidentally proved that Earth had a curvature? That was
So the Globers have, hey, a flat earther is the only one that proved the Earth is curved. He held the light up. They said they couldn't see it down low. He held it up. He could see it. And he goes, interesting, cut. Then he brought the light down again. And he goes, oh, we can see it now, which kind of proves there's no curvature. But we all walked away going, you know what? Too many things. It didn't prove anything. And they cut that part out of the movie, right? That movie, if anything, that experiment proved that there was no curvature, but they cut that out of the movie. Completely deceptive. And they were supposed to give us the footage, but they sold it to Netflix, and Netflix had in their contract, you can't give anyone the footage or you don't get any of your money. And they totally screwed us. So there you go.
You know what? It sounds like y'all need better lawyers.
I definitely
No, we're trusting people. That's the problem.
I've seen that part. I haven't watched that documentary on Netflix. I'm just aware of it, and I don't know how I saw.
It's not a documentary. It's a movie.
Okay,
it's a love story.
Movie on Netflix. I saw that, and I saw that part. That's the only part I saw. It was like on Reddit for a while. I cannot find that fucking clip anywhere anymore. Is it a conspiracy?
It's on Netflix.
I don't know.
It's on
No, I'm
Netflix.
not watching the whole fucking Netflix movie love story to get to that part, Dave.
You did
not-
say
There's nothing to
Netflix.
watch.
You
Netflix.
didn't say Netflix. Was it a
The
Freudian
universe
slip?
is doing you a favor
What's
by
happening?
not letting you find it.
Ooh. Oh man. Do you okay, so Dave's not been doing anything pandemic-y. He's been just
Now he's been doing Connecticut shit.
Connecticut shit.
He's been doing Connecticut
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying? How long have you lived in Connecticut?
My whole life.
Your whole life? Have,
Isn't that crazy? I
Wh-
live in a bubble, just like we all live in a bubble.
We
a
all live on
domed
this
world.
domed fucking world.
have you what's the coolest place you've traveled to?
That's a segment.
Hmm.
Let's do it. Let's do that segment.
Um,
It's called As
well,
the
I'm
World
a big,
Turns.
I'm a,
I mean, it's called Around
I'm
the
a
World.
big fan of the Caribbean. I'm a big tropical area fan. So there's a little island off of Puerto Rico that I love called Vieques, and I've been there over 100 times. So that's the coolest spot.
Wow. Tell me where have you been, Dave? Like where in this world have you been? On this flat earth, where have you been?
Yeah. So I've been to Europe, but I windsurf there from Newfoundland. I've been to Vieques, which is off of Puerto Rico. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to the Dominican Republic, California, every place in between. I've been down in South America, not South America, down to Costa Rica, Canada.
You've been everywhere, man.
That's about it. That's about it.
So you've been on planes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you been to the ice wall?
Airplanes. There is no ice wall. There's the shoreline of the world. So the world is not a disc floating in space. The world is like a pond, just a big, giant pond. All of the continents are surrounded by water, right? And all of the water is surrounded by the shoreline of the pond. The shoreline of the pond is where the land
Gravity.
is higher than the water.
Because it's spinning.
And that shoreline is called Antarctica.
What is
But what
beyond
about-
Okay.
that?
What about the Arctic?
Well, you see this pink line here? This pink line is 60 degrees south, and nobody, no corporation, no person is allowed to explore beyond that line.
Thank goodness. Pepsi will put a flag there and shit.
Sponsored by Orbit.
Think about this.
Elon Musk could be
Antarctica is-
chilling there and shit, like, hey, doing a podcast with Joe Rogan and shit. Like,
Joe Rogan, the sellout. Antarctica is bigger
Ooh,
than
shots
all
fired.
of
Bang,
the
bang.
oceans and all of the continents combined.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said Antarctica is
Mhm.
bigger than all of the oceans and all of the continents combined.
Okay. Okay, Dave. Do you have a question, Adele? Yes. Yeah, why the lie? Why the lie? Okay, so and before NASA, they were so your claim is that they've been lying to us. Like you're saying that the tests that the ancient Greeks did, that didn't happen.
Never happened. It never happened. Aristophanes, the most famous mathematician in the world, there's no books that mention that experiment until the late 1900s. That's the first time it was ever in a book, right? So
Maybe they just found the
inserted
book.
it into our school system.
maybe
What's
they
that?
just found the book.
Well, no, they didn't. They didn't find a book. It was literally inserted into our school system in the late 1900s
Because
they want to convince us that we live on a ball. Why the lie? Right? Why
Right.
the lie? And the answer is if they can convince you that you're a product of a big bang is nothing exploded, created everything, then rocky balls happened, and all of the gases coalesced into giant suns, leaving a vacuum in between, which is impossible.
A
Then
theory,
lightning
yes.
struck, created an amoeba that turned into a fish, that turned into a monkey, that turned into a human, and that you are spinning out of control in an infinite universe where an asteroid could take you out at any moment and everything else they tell you to be afraid of, you live in fear in a godless or distant God universe. Okay? When the truth is, we are at the center of creation. We are powerful beings and nobody has dominion over us.
Couldn't you have no dominion over us on a sphere, though?
Well,
Couldn't you?
like to get to all of that shit, I don't even give a fuck about flat Earth or a sphere. Like it doesn't.
It's not the shape that matters.
The shape doesn't fucking matter, dude. Like to
It
be.
doesn't. You're right.
At the end of the day, the idea that we as people have dominion over this Earth.
Do you guys wear masks?
Whatever.
Yep. Sure do.
Okay. And do you stay inside when they tell you to stay inside?
When my job sent me home to work from home, yes, I worked from home. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Did I avoid seeing my parents who are in their 60s and 70s and are high risk during a global pandemic? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
all right. So it's all about controlling our minds. And when you're spinning out of control in fear of being insignificant, you might believe anything they tell you. So that's
you
that's
didn't.
the
You
reason.
haven't. You didn't lose anyone to COVID, huh?
Well, no, because he
No.
doing like
No.
rich Connecticut shit. Like he had on his boat, windsurfing and shit, like doing shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It affects different people in different fucking ways. So, like, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole different experience. Like, that's the reason why I think that, like, out of all, like, to be quite honest, Dave, like, for me, as a black gay woman in America, fucking this conspiracy, in regards to, like, what actually impacts my fucking life, the reason why I don't give a fuck is because of that. Like, I don't really like
Do you know about I think it's
that
pronounced.
that multitude that you got to the point of us having like dominion over something. That's the key
Yeah.
point. It doesn't fucking matter, regardless of whatever shape. We could be
So-
triangle, parallelogram, motherfucking.
Are you
I-
familiar with the Tuskegee experiment?
Yes.
So yeah, so from 1929 up to the 1970s, they were infecting the CDC
With syphilis.
was infecting black men with syphilis.
Yes. 600
Right?
men. Yes.
And using us as guinea pigs. And now
Wait,
we're
you're
trusting
black?
them with all of with the
He said they
yeah.
using us as
experimental
Yes, I am.
All right.
with an experimental drug that's not even a vaccine. It's insanity once you understand what's going on.
Buddy pulled out the yes, I am black.
He said yes.
Well, I have a question. So with the formation of
Stanley?
NASA,
Yeah,
yes,
this is Stanley.
I am the disembodied voice is what I am. So with this, you're saying that NASA is the one that formulated the idea that we need to force everybody to believe in the globe.
Yes, kind of. Yes. Go ahead.
I'm just wondering. So
I mean, NASA was created for that purpose.
okay, so you're stating around 1958 is whenever that would be necessary then.
Yeah, right around there. Sure.
Well, just to go back to what you were saying earlier, though, with the before NASA, the we were taught that the Earth was flat. I actually stepped out
Well,
real
I
quick
mean-
and talked
Sorry, go ahead.
to my
Sorry.
grandmother, who was born in 1937, and
Yeah.
that would be,
A little late.
but still, that's 20 years before.
Yeah, no, NASA didn't start at the beginning. NASA was brought in later. They in the late 1920s or early 1920s, actually even before the 1920s, they were introducing the idea of it. And then in the 1920s, they were still teaching it in some schools. It was a slow transition. Then they had all the wars and the Depression, and they're destroying evidence to this very day. What's the first thing we did when we went to Iraq? We went into the museums there and took the artifacts, supposedly to protect them. But Saddam Hussein was going to expose stuff that they didn't want us to know about our history.
Well,
Our
that's
history.
that's
There was a worldwide civilization here in the 1800s.
well.
I mean,
You as a black man, you should understand.
Ow. Ow.
Don't make fun of my blackness.
What?
I
To
can't breathe.
understand that, like, they always fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you watch the Fred Hampton movie?
I don't know it.
Bruh, see, and this is my thing. All right.
As a black man.
Like,
should see that as a black man.
there is shit that is happening right before us that is as equally as weird and substantial and has more of an immediate impact to us that is conspiracy wise. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like
You used to think the same thing.
why are you using your effort and power to
I'll tell you why.
go after this versus something that is
Important.
I'll tell you why.
important to all of humanity?
The answer is the world is under tyranny right now. They're taking away all our rights. They're turning us into slaves, serfs, which we basically are already. And if somehow we magically get our power back, how long do you think we can keep it when we don't know where we live, who we are, what this place is, or the power of our own mind? They're literally hiding the power of our own mind. Our thoughts create our reality, and they don't want us to know it.
Here's my whole thing.
Oh, KB's got a whole thing.
Your whole thing?
This is my whole thing. Regardless of what the shape the fucking earth is, bro, that is existing. That comes first before, well, this is just a pond. Motherfucker, I don't give a fuck if it's a fucking pond, a puddle, a drop. I don't give a fuck. The issues that are stringent upon us immediately are issues that regard towards fucking humanity. And I just think that, like, the bigger picture of what we should be doing and putting our energy towards is shit that's gonna
Shit right in front of you.
you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers are doing shit right in front of our faces. We don't have to go. This is not going to change shit. Like, in the grand scheme of what is actually impacting the people, this ain't it.
What's the goal in the end? What do you want everybody to do or be, or like what's your end goal?
Once people wake up and see this, they disconnect from the control grid. They stop obeying authority and they take back their own power. And the elite, the only power they have over us is the belief in our head that they have any power over us. So, once you disconnect from it, you stop feeding them and they have no power. We are the many, they are the nothing. Okay.
So
But
then what do
people
we
don't
do?
know that.
Then what do
What's
we
that?
do? Then what do we do? Once you have this, ideology in everybody's head. Then what? Then what do we do?
Then we stop obeying them and we take back our freedom. We start thriving. We keep our businesses open. We trade with each other. We create our own monetary system, which is happening right now with cryptocurrency.
That's
We
a
are
lot of
taking away
fucking
their power.
conspiracy just for this pandemic to open up businesses again. I'm just saying.
Well,
Like, this is a long ass
if you look
fucking
at it,
conspiracy.
This system happens every 100 years. In 1920, they had the Spanish flu. Everybody was wearing masks. Everybody was getting inoculated, and a massive die-off happened. In 1820, same thing, cholera. In 1720, same thing, plague. This is 2020. This is their great reset, and they've written it in stone. If you know about the Georgia Guidestones, all of this is written in stone.
Or somebody just understands human nature. The history is cyclical.
Mm-hmm.
Everything comes back around, and maybe it is hey, let's see who is what. And I think that regardless of it, I think we lost a lot of people unnecessarily, and I think a lot of
You know
communities
that
were
Dr. Fauci
affected.
wrote a paper. Dr. Fauci wrote a paper that most people died in the 1920s from not from the Spanish flu, from bacterial pneumonia, from wearing masks, rebreathing their own toxins, and not detoxing their bodies. And that's when they changed medicine. You know, if you know anything about the Flexner report, they proved that this whole germ theory is nonsense. Your body, you know, the germ. Your garbage outside doesn't make flies. Flies are attracted to garbage. Okay, when your body's detoxing, you make exosomes. They call them viruses, and that's not what's making you sick. Your body is cleansing itself. Fauci wrote a paper that most people died because of bacterial pneumonia from wearing masks. But he's
bro,
telling everyone to wear masks now.
fam, those masks look like motherfucking Tim Burton masks. Like that shit was like everything is like, fam, like there is a progress in
Yeah,
science.
when
and
did Fauci write this paper? Like, you act like we don't progress and learn more and get new technology and get access
like that was straight up.
access to more things.
We think we're at the top of society, but in fact, there was an advanced civilization here in the 1800s with free energy technology. Look at the World's Fairs. They had wireless electricity that was free for everybody. Look at the buildings, the Tatarian buildings. We couldn't build them today with our greatest cranes, but we're to believe that they built them with horses and buggies. All of our history is a lie, and they don't want us to know it. That's why they have our minds in a prison, and that prison is the planet.
That is so many people to keep up lies. That is so many people to keep up
it's not
lies.
as many as you think, but yeah, it's a lot of people.
It's a lot of fucking people. Like
Well, yeah,
pilots,
but how
man.
many?
Like
How many?
our fucking every pilot is in on this.
No, see, that's where you're mistaken. Most pilots don't know, but there's many that do know. All of the Qantas pilots have told us they talk about it amongst themselves, but they can't talk about it publicly because they will be fired. We had a KLM pilot on our show, and she was telling us how the Earth is flat and stationary, how she knows it, how she can prove it, and then the next day she was grounded and fired. Okay, so and there's many
Did
pilots.
she say
There's-
nigga
if
in
you
the
go-
video or something?
I have an app. I
Like,
have
are
an
you
app
sure?
called the
Are
Flatter
you
Sun,
sure?
Moon, and Zodiac
Also,
Clock.
She
I
wasn't
mean,
selling
sometimes,
pussy on the side.
Sometimes companies are like, I don't really want your views representing our company, and you're going on a public
So
podcast as somebody
That's
who
fine.
knows better, and we don't want you to
But
represent us.
you're saying all the pilots are in on it. I'm saying that all the pilots that have looked into it know the Earth is flat. All the FAA manuals say treat the Earth as a flat, non-rotating plane.
Treat it as that because that's how you understand
is
how.
that.
No,
because
no,
it
no,
is
no, no, no,
that.
no, no,
How
no,
does
no,
a
no, no.
plane
Wait, hold
take
up,
off
Fab. Wait,
from-
hold up. Wait,
take off from
wait, hold
northern
up, Dave.
Alaska
Hold up.
and
1
land in
second, because I normally won't argue like this at all. But semantically, treat it as if that. It doesn't say treat it as it is. It's saying because you're used to driving on land and going straight, and treat it as if it is that, so that you understand how to navigate in when you're flying. It doesn't mean that they're literally saying that the Earth is flat. They're implying it.
So you
can
believe when you're flying, the pilot would have to nose the plane down a mile every 2 minutes just to follow the curve, and then when they get to Australia, they land upside down.
I
That's
don't
what you
think you're
believe.
doing math correctly. And I like I said, I didn't do the
Well,
strongest
no, I'm
on
doing the math
ACT.
correctly, but you can don't believe me. Check it out yourself. You should never believe me.
Yeah,
It's just things that
probably.
you've never checked out. It's things that you've never ever checked out. Like you were talking earlier about how do they circumnavigate the world? What do they? Does the landscape change? I can explain it to you, but this isn't really that type of show where you guys want to hear explanations. So I'm going with your
No,
lead.
I
Whatever
let
you guys
you-
want to do.
I just
Come
let you
on.
explain.
We've been letting you explain this whole time.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Come on, Dave.
What do you
We've
want?
been asking you
What do you want to
questions.
talk about? I'll explain circumnavigation. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna. I know it's hard, but you have to think. What does a compass point to? A compass needle points to what?
North.
North.
North. Okay, because there's a magnetic attraction to the north.
Mhm.
So if you got a compass on a table and you put a magnet next to it, the needle's going to point towards that magnet, right?
Correct.
Okay. So the Earth is a circle. So if you draw a big circle on a table and you put a magnet in the center of that circle, that's the North Pole. Right here is the North Pole. If you put a compass down on that table, The north needle is going to point towards that center of the table. East and west are 90 degrees to that. If you try to push that compass east or west, you have to keep turning and go around that North Pole to maintain a heading of east or west. East and west are circles around a magnetic center. That doesn't prove the Earth is flat, by the way, because it's the same on a ball.
Mhm.
East and west are not straight lines. They're circles. The problem is south. No one has ever gone south and come up the other side because you can't. Because south is that way. South is that way. South is that way. South is also that way. No one, because if you go south, you're just going to go and you're never going to come back. East and west are circles around the northern center. This is an experiment you can do yourself, right? Billions of people have circumnavigated east and west. Nobody has circumnavigated south because you can't.
Well, couldn't that also be argued that since there's not stable landmass that close to the southern pole, that it makes no sense to do so?
Yeah, sure. The problem is Santiago, Chile is at the bottom of the ball. Australia is at the bottom of the ball on the other side. There's plenty of islands across the South Pacific that they can stop at. Easter Island, there's Fiji or whatever. There's a whole bunch of islands. I can't name them all. There's plenty of places to stop, and they never done it. No one has ever done it.
That's because they're not direct,
flight,
though.
No one's ever done it. What's that?
Well, that's because like Chile and Australia aren't directly on the opposite sides of the globe.
Well, no, they're close. So when somebody wants to go from Chile to from Santiago, Chile to oops, what happened there? If somebody wants to go from Santiago, Chile to Australia, they go this crazy route. So they go from Santiago all the way up to the U.S. across and then all the way down. And weirder, they want to go to west. This is backwards for me. If you want to go here, they go all the way up, all the way across to Europe and to Dubai, and then they go down. But if you look at that on a flat Earth map, it's a straight line. You go all the way up across Europe, Dubai, Western Australia. It's a straight line. It's a straight line.
Simon,
this is the
I don't
route
know.
that they
I don't
take
know
on
if
the globe.
I don't know if you watched Simon Dan's video on you last week.
Well, I don't watch Simon Dan because he's a paid shill. He's a paid shill. He will never talk to any one of us direct.
Simon Dan emailed you,
his
by the
channel
way,
is filled
and
with bots and
wants to do an interview with you. I actually wanted
No,
him
he doesn't.
on this
He doesn't.
show to talk to
All
you.
he wants to do is do a question, a pre-recorded. I answer a bunch of questions and he responds to them. He won't talk to us directly.
Isn't most of your
because he knows that we'll destroy
It's
him.
going
most
down.
of your stuff is pre-recorded, Dave? I don't know why that's a problem.
This is live.
This is
live.
live
guys
because
have
you
the guts to talk
because
to
you
me live.
agreed to do our stuff live. But I was the one handling the calendar stuff and saw my options. I understand that you opened up to Sunday for me, which we appreciate. Happy Pi Day. But I see on your calendar that most of your interviews are pre-recorded interviews. So I don't know what the problem.
Those are my interviews, but we have a live show going on right now. It's called Globebusters. It's
So why
it's a
can't he
3-hour
do
show
a
live.
pre-recorded? If
What's
you
that?
could, if you do pre-recorded shows, why can't he does pre-recorded shows? That's his whole channel is pre-recorded shows.
Right. So he wants to debate us. A debate you do live. You don't do. We
Okay, so
when
are
he
you
does-
worried that
he-
Simon
hold on a second.
Dan is going
let
to?
me answer this.
Is,
Let me
are
answer
you?
this.
No,
Let me
hold
answer
on.
this.
Are
Let me respond. Let me respond. Okay. He does what you call hit pieces. He gaslights us and he strawmans us. He never ever represents the truth. And if he talks to us directly, he can't get away with that. So he does these little sarcastic, snarky things. His channel came from nowhere. He went up to 500,000 subs or whatever it is. He is a
Me and Tim are
paid
part of that reason.
disinformation site.
I love Simon
Yeah.
Dan. I'm a big. I didn't.
All right,
I
well,
actually. I was
I
a
get
fan of Simon Dan before I even knew that you did a video with him, and I just happened to be like, I wonder if Simon Dan's ever done this video, and quiet Amy, he has mansplaining to do. And I looked up your name and his name, and I watched the video, and I noticed at the end of it that he said, "My offer still stands." If you, my question then was, sorry that I interrupted you, but my main question was, are you worried that Simon Dan is going to do a pre-recorded interview and then edit it in a way that
That's all he ever does. That's all he ever does.
That's what I wanted to know. Because I mean, like, I watched your video that he went through, and I watched his video that. Yeah, I watched both the videos. I watched your videos. We do our research on this show. Me and Sterling watched.
Dave. I didn't watch none of your shit.
So before we have to wrap it up, what is your number one proof of the globe? Can I ask?
My number one proof of the. I mean, I don't know how to.
Yeah,
answer.
you guys believe you live on a globe. I'm like, if someone said, "Hey, what's the number one proof that you live on a globe?" What would you say?
Hey, Dave, guess what? I give absolutely zero fucks about that. I don't mean to be bogus
Right, well,
about
that's
it.
a fine answer. Fine answer.
And the reason why is like I already said, like there's more pertinent shit that is impacting my life right now that is more important than that thought. Because either way, whether it's on a sphere or, like I said, a puddle or a teardrop or
There's
whatever
some
the
really
fuck.
fucked up shit happening on this earth.
There's some really fucked up shit that needs to be addressed, and like that is what I'm gonna put my energy towards.
Mhm.
Now, if you want to put your energy towards that, that's
That's
hey,
working for you. That's what you've been doing.
that's your thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to sit up here and hate on it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where your you know what I'm saying, your passion lies and shit. So like
hey, you do your passion.
but like we do have one thing that we do with guests on the Happy Corner, and it is that one what makes you happy, and then I got a follow up to that.
I want to play the game too.
Okay.
Yeah. What makes you happy, Dave, on the Happy Corner podcast?
I'm happy all the time. I love talking to people, the awake, asleep. It doesn't matter. Just exchanging ideas, and I love when people can see the world that we're in. And I don't know. I love everything about my life. It's awesome.
To go back a little bit, we were talking earlier, and you said that you've been spending time with a lot of like-minded people. Are you like exclusively only friends with like-minded people? Do you broaden your horizon to people that don't necessarily agree with?
Well, I've narrowed my horizons from some people that just I don't mind being with people that are asleep, but if they want to bring up flat Earth, I'm happy to talk about it. If they don't, I don't bring it up.
So you can
you can
coexist.
I can hang out with anybody.
So you can coexist with people, not bring it up.
Absolutely.
Like if I ran into you
I
in
never bring it up.
Connecticut and I never bring it up to you, I never bring up flat Earth, you're never going to bring it up to me.
No.
Okay. I don't necessarily believe that, since you did comment on our.
Well, you know what?
I respect
if
that.
there's an opportunity where it comes up, here's the thing: I'm public enough. Nobody hangs out with me without bringing it up, so I just have to wait, and they bring it up.
Right.
It's all good.
Right.
All right, cool. And then the other thing we do on the Happy Corner is we do have we ask our guests, what is your favorite theme song or jingle from like a TV show or a commercial or anything like that?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't really watch any TV, so
Like even as a kid, you didn't have like a bop. Like you weren't like, oh, my show's on.
Popeye the Sailor Man.
Ah, okay. That's a throwback.
Banger. That's a throwback. That's a banger.
My mother was one of the artists doing the work on Popeye,
Oh, that's pretty badass.
the original series. Yeah.
Honestly, that would be my claim to fame over the flat Earth thing. I'm gonna be honest. that would be my go-to.
Do you have some of her
Original?
yeah.
I don't have the originals from that. There was some. I don't have them. My sister might have them.
All right, that's pretty cool. I want to play. Can we play a game with you before we leave?
Absolutely. I hope it's fun.
It is fun. It's a lot of fun. So what we do, especially during the quarantine here in Illinois, shit got shut down, and kind of we saw this thing going around Facebook that people pick their quarantine houses, right? Like, which house would you live in? So we've been doing that on the Happy Corner podcast. Me, KB, and Timmy, our sound guy, we're going to present to you 3 houses, and you have to pick which house you want to be in based on the people in that house. Tim, do you need to go last?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay. Anybody want to go fast? You understand the rules? Did I explain it all right?
you're gonna give me some houses, and I have to pick which one I want to go in.
Yep, based on who's living in it.
Oh wait, yeah. Can I go
Okay.
Yeah, you can go first.
first? Okay, my house
Based
is
on who's living in it.
yeah.
Yep.
So my house has three. Everybody's house has three people in it. So my house is Donald Trump, Ben Shapiro, and Tommy Loren.
Okay.
My house is Sigourney Weaver, Anne Hathaway, Matt Damon.
And my house is Denise Richards, Tom Hanks, and Ben Affleck.
Holy crap!
Yeah, whose house?
These are some bangers.
These are some bangers. Whose house
So,
you live in?
I have to pick one of those houses. I get to make my own house.
No, no,
No,
no.
you
No,
gotta
you gotta
pick-
pick
You
one of our
your own.
houses.
Yeah, you pick one of them.
You gotta live in one of these houses during quarantine with these people.
I could just pick one of all 9 houses.
3 houses with you
Wait,
have to pick
You guys just listed 9 different houses.
All right,
No.
there's 3 people
in each house.
in each house. So Timmy has a house of 3 people. I have a house of 3 people.
I have a house of 3 people.
All right. I'm not stoned, but can I ask you to repeat the houses?
Sure,
so I can
yeah,
get the
absolutely.
real answer.
Yes.
Yeah, my
Sorry.
house was Donald Trump, Ben Shapiro, and Tommy Loren.
My house was Sigourney Weaver, Anne Hathaway, Matt Damon.
And my house was Denise Richards, Tom Hanks, and Ben Affleck. Sound off in the chat.
Yeah, I would have to go with the middle house, the one.
KB's
with-
house.
Yeah,
Hey.
because you guys have some evil people in your other houses, and then some of the other
All
people I
right.
don't even know who they are. So,
All right. All right.
Whose house do you not know?
well, like I know the name Ben Shapiro, but I've never watched any of his stuff. So
Okay.
I don't think I like him, but that's another thing.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So yeah, I had Sigourney Weaver, Anne Hathaway, and Matt Damon. Now
So second part to this
there's a
game.
second part to the game, Dave. Now you have to fuck.
Okay.
You have to fuck, marry, kill.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello, maths debater in the
So
chat.
wait, hold on a second.
Thank
Do
you
I
for the
have to
follow.
play this?
Yes.
All right, go ahead. Give me the names again. Fuck,
So-
marry, kill.
Yes.
Sigourney Weaver, Anne Hathaway, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
F and kill, marry. Whoa, wait a minute. I have to marry one.
Yeah.
I'll marry Sigourney and I'll kill Matt Damon.
All right, and you're fucking Anne Hathaway.
I think so. I think
yeah.
I know who she
yeah.
is.
I
Yeah.
think I know who she is.
Have you seen what was that movie that she was in with Matthew McConaughey?
Are we talking a young Anne Hathaway or
No,
Interstellar.
no. The legal.
Legal Anne Hathaway.
You're talking about Interstellar.
I don't even know what
Interstellar.
she looks like, to be honest. So
The
I'm just gonna
shorty
go
from
with it.
Interstellar,
Interstellar.
or Les Mis. She was in that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll stick with my answer.
All right, yeah, you got it. Because
You got it.
unless you want to fuck Matt Damon, which you know.
I teach their own.
No.
Okay.
I need him to grow potatoes on Mars.
What do you think about the footage from Mars? You like it, or you a fan?
Did you watch it? Did
Yeah.
you actually watch
Yeah, I
it?
watched some
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, I mean the cartoon that they showed landing on Mars. South Park rejected that from their show because it was too horrible. My question was, you know, that was animation they're watching. If the data came back that it crashed, did they have an animation of it crashing?
Oh, what? I don't.
Oh my
okay.
god. All right, Dave. Well.
All right. So listen, if anybody's interested in learning about flat Earth, my app is where you can find the information because Google is censoring it. Like if you Google flat Earth, you'll end up at Simon Dan.
You know what?
You'll end up
No,
at the Flat Earth
I didn't.
Society.
I found you.
Hey, I'm gonna say this about
Yeah.
and don't take this as well, whatever, conspiracy theorists or whatever. But like, I'll give y'all credit for it. Y'all are some great marketers. Like y'all motherfuckers will have your shit.
Oh my god. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
give him that. You're a hustler, Dave. You're a hustler.
Well, you know the thing is, it's not that I'm here to selling apps. I'm here helping people see the truth, and for less than the cost of a friggin' Snapple or a Red Bull, you can get this that you'll have for the rest of your life that feeds you information every day. It's amazing.
Hey Tim, can you fucking kick this fucking dude out of my chat?
Yeah, we got it.
Thank you so much. Bye, maths debater. There's your shout out. Jesus Christ.
What was
He was just being mean to
got a
you,
troll?
Dave. He was being so mean to you. I'm just kidding. He was being mean to me.
That's all right.
He wasn't being mean to you at all.
But no, and so yeah, y'all, if y'all fuck with flat Earth puddle life.
Oh, we didn't even do our poll.
Oh,
Our
right.
crazy
Let's
fucking
do a poll.
results.
We had a
We
poll.
did a poll on our Facebook page, Dave. We did a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
We asked our audience, is the Earth flat? What do you think the results are?
With your audience, I would say 20% yes.
The results will shock you. This is my clickbait. Did it work?
If it's less than 20%, that'll shock me. But go ahead.
100% said no. The Earth is
100%?
not flat.
How many people responded?
Plenty.
I mean, if it was like 2,
David's
that's
like,
not
was
really
it
good
you
poll.
two? Was it you two? Was it just you two that voted on your own fucking poll?
Yeah. I'm not.
We got
I'm
people in
calling
the chat.
bullshit.
We got people in the chat right now who
I'm
answered
calling
the poll.
bullshit.
No.
No.
Maybe you should
We
have answered
did.
the poll. I gave
Yeah,
ample amount of time.
yeah.
I wish I'd seen it. I didn't see it because I would have sent it out to the Flat Earth Army, and you would have.
I know you would have fucking annihilated our. With
I
your
didn't want to. I
following.
didn't want to skew your results. I wouldn't. I don't want to do that. I want an honest poll.
That's our
You know?
our viewership is.
But just remember, consensus isn't science.
Okay, sure.
Everybody
sure.
believed Donald Trump was the savior. Is he?
No, we did not believe that.
Well, a lot of people.
That was
did.
a very strange complex. It was a very strange complex.
Yeah.
Is there a conspiracy that you like bullshit, or do you say
Do
there's
you
a possibility
do you
to everything?
subscribe to all conspiracy theories, Dave? Or
Well,
is there one
it's
that you're
not-
like, oh,
it's not-
fuck
You know
off?
what? That's a good question. That is a good question. Here's the thing. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a truth seeker. I look at evidence. I mean, have you
Okay.
guys looked into the New York event, the September New York event?
No.
What's the September?
The
Oh,
September
September
11th.
11th.
Oh, okay.
Dear, come on, be specific.
Do you believe that was as described by the mainstream media?
Maybe not fully. No, Dave. I don't think that it was.
Okay, so there's a conspiracy there, right?
Sure. I am aware of
Okay,
the conspiracies.
So
Yes.
there, we're on the same page.
Are we?
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, well, page 97. What page?
What's a conspiracy, like a popular conspiracy theory that you're like, okay, guys, come on.
Aliens coming from outer space, an alien invasion.
I fully believe in aliens. Are you kidding me?
So here, think about this. If the Earth is a pond, Antarctica is the shoreline of our pond, what's in the outer space beyond Antarctica? Maybe there's other ponds with extra territory, extra terra, and that's where extraterrestrials come from, the outer space across the Earth plane.
So what you're saying is there's aliens.
So aliens are extraterrestrials, not from outer space above us, from outer space across the plane.
Fam, what
All of the
gummies
biggest
you got?
telescopes in the world are in the
You
deep
said
south,
this.
and they're looking out. They're not looking up. They're looking across the plane.
Hey, bro,
Why
mail
are they
me some of
looking
your
out and
gummies.
not up?
Can you mail us some of your gummies, Dave? We want some of what you got. I'll send you some Malort.
Yeah.
Trade
I'm
like,
good.
this bitch don't
I
even
think you guys are good.
You think we're good? You think we're good? I think we
you're
need to
good.
be better.
I think you're good.
I think we
Okay.
need to be how high you are right now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
So
Well-
so are other planets, those aren't a thing, or no? No other planets?
no, you look up in the sky. What do you see? You see lights in the sky. They're within the Earth system. They're not terra firma. They're just energetic lights named after demigods, and that actually have effect on our life. They're not rocks billions of miles away.
Our
They're here
producer
within
just
the
quit.
Earth system. They used to be called wandering stars.
Oh man. It's a good thing we're rocking
a
with
lot
the
to
exact same technology we had for centuries. You know? It's like we'd never learn
Do
anything.
you know that? Well, they still theorize the distance of the sun, the size of the sun. They have no idea.
I just need you to know that Stanley got up from his position, grabbed the bottle of tequila, and just drank it from the bottle. I need everyone to know Stanley.
What kind of tequila?
The
The
Rocks
Rocks
tequila.
tequila.
Good tequila.
Have you had the
Ooh.
Rocks tequila?
No, I haven't. Doesn't sound good though.
It's delicious. Smooth
It's pretty
operator.
smooth,
All right.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
One
It sounds
tequila
like-
drinker to another. All right. Well, this is Dave.
happens.
Dave, thanks so much for doing the Happy Corner podcast. We really appreciate you coming through. And yeah, this has been
An episode.
an episode,
Yeah.
and it's been interesting and fun. And yeah, this has been the Happy Corner.
No problem. Is this just on Twitch, or do you guys put it up on other
It's on
platforms?
YouTube.
Is it on YouTube or no?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
YouTube as
Can you,
well.
can you send me the YouTube link,
Sure.
please?
For sure,
Absolutely.
absolutely. And thank you so much
All
for
right.
doing the show. Hey, everybody in the chat, thank you so much.
We're gonna talk to the chat. We're gonna
Yeah.
let Dave go. We're gonna hang out for a few more minutes and then get out of here. Dave, thanks for
Dave,
hanging out with
thank
us.
you so
on the
much for
Happy
hanging
Corner
out.
All right. See you guys.
Take
Thanks.
care.
Bye.
Yo, man.
I'm exhausted. I didn't say more than 2 words.
No, you
I am
didn't.
Fucking exhausted.
I like that you tried to gauge where he was politically with your house.
I kind of panicked at the last minute. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm like, Tim, you got a house? And you're like, yep, nope, we're good. Oh, that was, oh man, the chat.
I'm not gonna lie, that did surprise me.
What?
That he more or less hated Timmy's
house.
house.
That did surprise me too. That is not
mean,
what I
kudos to him.
expected. Yeah, good for him. But holy shit, man. Now, so what's gonna happen is he wants the link to our video because he's gonna
Yeah.
he edits down all his appearances on podcasts and shit and puts them on his YouTube channel, which I don't remember what it's called. Don't worry about it.
Hey, fam, I am not a scientist, but his math was off. I was like, I don't even know if what was, but like, I was just thinking, like, that, I don't even know what the calculation is, but I know that ain't right.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm not gonna speak on shit I don't know about. I'm not a fucking scientist. I don't know.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I did the math real quick.
You literally called your grandmother.
Yeah, that's where I went. I went out there and called Nana.
She was probably so happy, and you're like,
Well-
real quick, Nana.
Well, I told her I'd FaceTime with her later. So
Okay.
I will. But yeah, I texted my dad and my aunt and was like, hey, when was Nana born? But that's when he shifted the date.
Right. I was like, see, and they always move the goalposts. So I'm like, whatever. To me, like, that's the reason I was like, all this shit means absolutely, like, fucking nothing.
Well, I mean, and I didn't get to bring it up, but when he's talking about, like, well, what's your proof that there's a globe? Well, having been on, like, a naval ship and gone through naval training with it, when it comes to horizon viewing, yeah, you see that curvature, like, out over the ocean when you're doing that type of shit.
Yeah, isn't that the reason why they have to use scopes? Like how they create the scope to see the horizon? Isn't that the reason? Like,
Like,
no, I'm being for
No,
real.
I'm laughing at the chat right now.
Yeah, I'm being for real. Like, isn't that the reason why they use?
are you talking about, like, a scope for a gun? Or are you talking about, like, what we use on naval ships?
On naval ships.
Well, yeah, like we have these like binocular things and stuff like that. I mean, that might have changed since I was in it, but yeah, you're trained to look out over X amount of distance of water. So with the horizon, because of the known curvature of the Earth, you're able to tell roughly the distance things are from the ship based on you to the horizon.
Right.
So that's what you use to judge, like, hey, this ship is 3 nautical miles away, or this or that. You judge it based on the horizon because of the curvature of the Earth. That's how it's a fixed plane based on where you're viewing from. And that's how you judge the distance.
That was so fucking.
And I wasn't even like a navigator or anything like that, but we all have to train for it.
Have y'all ever went to class? Like, high and the teacher expected you to do work?
Yeah.
That's what just
My
happened.
math
Like-
teacher, my math teacher used to do that to me every fucking time I came to class high. She would make me
You
go do
like,
problems at the
damn,
board.
bitch. Like, come on, man. Like,
All my shit would be sideways.
Well, he was saying that like over 10 miles, it should be like 66 inches difference or something like that. And that's not what it would be. 10 miles would be 7.95 miles squared. Or I'm sorry, over 1 mile squared, it's 7.95 inches. So 10 miles would mean 79.5 inches of difference. And he was saying it would be a ramp. But it goes down.
This
Didn't
dude
go up, it goes
also was
down.
talking about how the ancient Greeks, like all of that didn't happen. Like he,
Oh, I came in for the tail part of that after
Yeah,
talking to
none
Nina.
of that happened.
Yeah, I heard that.
And I'm like, well, and also like people have replicated that experiment.
Well, I want to know, like, does he think that all globes just showed up in 1920? Like there were no globes before then?
Yeah.
Because there were.
Ask in the chat what mics does he do? He's a Brower House regular. Oh yeah, wonder what he does think of 5G. Alberts, I haven't flown in close to 20 years. I don't remember the math off the top of my head, but you have to take the curvature of the Earth into account while flying. I mean,
yeah.
he also just skated over some BS about how viruses don't exist. Like that part didn't surprise me.
Well, and I did look it up with the whole Fauci paper. It came out in 2008.
Again,
It
let's
doesn't
not
even fucking
pretend-
matter. It
Let's not
doesn't.
pretend that we don't learn and evolve.
Well, let's also
our
not
stuff.
pretend that more people died of other shit in 1920 that we don't die of now, too.
Right. Right.
I,
I know he's still watching.
I don't
Hey,
give a
That's
fuck,
fine.
bro. Like,
Well,
I-
it wasn't the plague in 1720. It would have been smallpox.
Again,
Just throwing that
it's
out
a good thing that we haven't fucking grown and upgraded our technology and shit.
I will say this. That's some good tequila, though.
He said, I said it's the Rock's tequila, and he said, ugh.
Who
So,
says ugh to the rock?
I'm like, man, I can't gauge you fully. I can't.
I hope whenever they distill it, they just drizzle it down the rock's body into the bottle.
Wow. We're finding out some kinks today.
I think that's why it tastes so good.
He did. He sure came over here and just fucking started chugging that bottle of
yeah,
tequila.
he didn't.
He's like, I can't do it. I can't. What set you off? What made you take your headphones off?
What was it? The aliens are from, I don't know, like, I guess interconnected
oh.
tunnels to other planes.
There was some shit about the footage of Mars being
Being a
cartoon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was
It's
a good
just
one.
crazy to do all these mental gymnastics to say the Earth is flat or a pond or in a bubble or whatever. And then when it's like, well, in the infinite amount of space, don't you think the possibility of like other life? Like, oh god, that's fucking
That's ridiculous. Yeah, I was
Shut
like,
up.
Well,
what?
I mean, I will say this based on his logic, there isn't an infinite amount of space.
Well, yeah, of course.
Like, that's the weird side effect of it is you can say space, but to him it's ends.
that was just.
I just want to know who has the job to change the light bulbs in the sky. I want that job. Be like, oh, we need to say this star died 80 years ago, and it's just now off.
I'm just amazed that you would do all this work to believe in something that really, honestly, what difference does it really impact?
It doesn't, in the
It
grand
does
scheme
not.
of things.
In
Then
the
we are
grand
just
scheme of
little itty
things.
bitty fucking.
It doesn't fucking
on this
matter.
earth.
Well,
And you're allowing yourself to be consumed
I'm
with that type of, you know what I'm saying, shit. Like, I
Right.
just think it's weird. It's
Well,
weird to me.
I'm confused.
Not weird.
Was,
It's just, I can't, from my perspective, I can't adjust my brain to give a fuck about that.
well, I want to know, was he about to say that we captured Saddam Hussein because he was going to expose the deep secrets of it all?
I don't know where he was going.
Because he said that.
He said that, and I'm like, dude, like, you do realize we put him there. Like, what?
But that to me is the big question. Is like if he was thinking that some world leader was like Saddam Hussein, who would I guess have to be in on the secret, would expose everything. Isn't there enough world leaders out there that fucking hate us that would have dropped a dime at
Absolutely.
this point?
You
Like
would think.
Kim Jong-un, like wouldn't he just go, well, fuck all this NASA bullshit?
Yeah. Oh, the only good point that came away, from this interview for me, was that I finally won a house, and now
KB
And
got
that's
a
what
house.
you should hang your hat on.
That's the takeaway. We had Stanley on the show with us. That was fun.
Flat Stanley.
Flat Stanley.
the chat was blowing up. Y'all was doing y'all thing. We appreciate y'all hanging
We
out
do
with us.
appreciate y'all. It's a little fucking.
I just
whatever.
want to know how he kills Matt Damon over Anne Hathaway.
I don't think he's a very sexually open person, Stanley.
I mean, maybe, but still, like, you still fuck Matt Damon. I mean, he got it right. You do marry Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you marry her.
He doesn't know. He doesn't. I don't think he's ever played fuck, marry, kill in his life. You got to know how to play the game.
Maybe.
He doesn't know how to play the game, and that's okay.
What's the problem with Anne Hathaway though?
I don't know. I don't like her.
You rather
I don't
bang
wanna,
Matt?
I don't want to be with Anne Hathaway.
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure Matt Damon's fucked Ben Affleck, and I want to at least be one step removed from that.
My house has
Well-
Ben Affleck.
Exactly. I would have chosen your house just because of that.
You want to fuck Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck's my boy. I am ride or die with Ben.
I didn't know this.
Okay.
For the record,
Okay.
I didn't know this.
You did know this.
No, I didn't.
I've openly been ride or die Ben Affleck for decades at this
Didn't
point.
know this.
All right. Well. All right. This has been the Happy Corner podcast.
I like that. That's what needs to end this episode.
Love it.
All right.
I see how it is, KB.
Listen. Do you boo? We through boo.
Well, actually, all right.
I'm not going. Well, actually, you're fuckless, Stanley. Stanley Cleaners.
I mean, Stanley is my favorite character in The Office, so I'm not that offended.
All right. This has been
This has been a show.
This has been a show. I had a great time.
I had a fun time.
I actually had a good time. Once again, thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you to the chat. Shout out to Adele, our thought from the audience who actually spoke this time and had the question
She had some
going.
questions
Appreciate
ready.
it.
And she immediately started cuddling the cat further just to tame her anxiety about his answers. Yeah, I saw it.
Shout out to Timmy for running the sound.
Stanley
And-
for chiming
And
in.
Stanley for chiming in. You guys have a good day. Sunday fun day. Holla at y'all later. Bye.
It sounds too loud, 'cause boredom is just torture. But KB and Amy have just what the doctor ordered. Pull up, but share is the happy corner.